For better or worse, there are some moments that stop you in your tracks. For us, that moment came somewhere in California. In a nearly 50-year-old RV we weren't sure was going to make it. Actually, I was pretty confident it wouldn't make it.
This is the old motor.
Our gray water tank is full again.
Go to our power hookup. Came off.
Like your inner spark's still dirty.
We lost the top to our vent.
From Crescent City to San Diego, our route is just over 1,000 miles. But it's not the numbers that matter. It's the moments along the way.
To California.
California!
For the record, a lot of you have seen much of this trip already, but we wanted to share more of our perspective behind the scenes. Think of this as a movie commentary, the bonus features. And trust, there's still moments in here you haven't seen yet.
Tony just said I look like John Lennon.
Before we ventured deep into the Redwoods, we stopped in Crescent City. Just long enough to recharge and to do something completely cliche.
What is that?
My seal. You want to touch your toes in the California water for the first time in like 8 years? California.
Boy, did it feel good to be back in California. The water's still cold though.
Not too bad. I could cold plunge in that.
Feels good to be back in California already. It's that sunshine, man. We've got great weather.
Oh yeah. I realized why it's called Pebble Beach, because all the rocks look like pebbles out there. The state just makes me feel young again. I spent so many years of my early 20s in California, between living in Washington but traveling all of California and then living in California, and I just feel like, not to say I'm not youthful, but I feel like my early 20s are hatching. So look out, world. We hung out here for a while, waiting for the sun to start to set and appreciating the view. We even brought Otto out to appreciate some of this, thinking maybe he'll like this part of California too. Or maybe not. City boy.
I need a moment of your time for a second.
You know, there are a few things people don't talk about when you live in an RV, like how impossible it is to keep up with laundry. Ugh. Laundromats can get expensive. Not only that, but we can't keep a lot of clothes because space is limited and things get messy. This is a mess. And it's driving me insane. I'm getting rid of all these old and stained shirts I don't need.
T-shirts with holes, gone. These have pit stains, gone. The mustard stain from 2020, all gone.
And I'm sticking with a shirt brand that lasts, which is why I like Unbound Merino. These clothes I'm wearing now, truth be told, I can get away with wearing for multiple times a week, and they still feel and smell fresh. Unbound's clothing is made from the finest merino wool on earth. It's basically nature's most remarkable performing fiber, which is why it stays so fresh and so clean for so long. If I could have one shirt to wear in the RV, it would be this brand.
My closet is less cluttered, and I can travel comfortably knowing my clothes will last through almost any curveball. Check out the link to learn more.
They're all staring at me. What is that creature over there? So this is our second night here, and it's called Elk Valley Casino. There's signs all over the place saying do not approach the wildlife and the elk. We haven't seen them yet. When we drove back up, there are so many over here. This is our second time in the last 2 weeks seeing a ton of elk. I am also not gonna get very close. I'm gonna heed their warning, which is why I brought a zoom lens. And I ain't no fool. I seen those Yellowstone videos of the tourists being really stupid close to buffalo. I ain't doing nothing like that. just for reference, because I know we're going to get these comments, this is how far away I am. So I am well over 100 yards away, just in case anyone's wondering. Nice little cap off to the afternoon. That's cool.
The first real glimpse of the Redwoods started as we left Oregon and drove through the Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park. But it was the Del Norte State Park where we really got to stop and appreciate them. Of course, we also missed our pullout and ended up at the beach, which was also a nice find.
Look at this. California's got the best waves. It's like Ariel's Rock from Little Mermaid. It's really cool. So we drove through Del Norte Redwood State Park. We're probably gonna drive back through because we couldn't find anywhere to park. But right here, I think it's Wilson's Creek. And you see like the redwoods and the fog, and then you got the ocean right here. It is just, it's nice.
I remember thinking in this moment, we couldn't have asked for a better start to this trip. Of course, that would be short-lived and we'd soon face a few problems, but for now, we just enjoyed these moments.
NorCal was so beautiful, but all you've seen so far is the coast. Wait till you see these redwoods.
Wow.
How big these roots are. Big old tree. Other than the highway being right there, it's actually quite peaceful. We're the only car parked in this little parking lot. You don't really hear birds or insects or anything out here. Just our footsteps.
She looks so cute. Redwoods look good on her. Bring out the color of her orange and her red.
This was but an appetizer. The main course comes tomorrow at what they famously call the Avenue of Giants.
All right, can't even reach this. We're here. We're gonna take the Avenue of Giants around and a couple stops along the way. So the first stop on our Redwoods adventure checklist this morning is the Greg French Bell Trailhead. There's a lot longer name. There's like 4 names to it. But this one's supposed to have like a groove in the middle of the redwoods that's supposed to look really cool. So we're also here at about 9 o'clock and we're the only car that's right here right now. So
It's a holiday too. Happy Veterans Day.
oh, I thank you.
We spent a full 2 days driving slowly through this section of the Redwoods and the Avenue of the Giants, and I still can't get over how amazing that was. Having grown up in Washington State, I am no stranger to a forest. But these redwoods were something different. Something about walking through these tall trees really makes you feel small. There's really just a peace that you feel walking through all of these trails.
You are entering ancient forest. This nature trail will provide a glimpse into the past and look into one of the greatest forests on Earth.
Hello? Roomier than our RV. Can't lie about being 6 foot here. Not that either of us are or have lied about it.
What's a demogorgon?
This thing.
Good timing from you.
I know. I see so many faces in that.
Yeah, like morphed faces
Yeah.
just stuck. Yeah. It's probably our dark sense of humor.
Pretty big.
Thanks. These trees are so massive. I wonder how loud they are when they fall. It's gotta be like a...
I think I was more fascinated by what happens when a tree this big falls than I was the actual scale of the trees.
This one is massive. Holy hell. Jeez, look how this splintered. Must have hit this other fallen one and then just said...
It's just crazy because if one of these things falls, it's got to be hard to get out of the way. As much as we enjoyed the Avenue of Giants, the most fun part of the day had to be Confusion Hill. You'll see why.
Confusion. Is seeing believing? Nobody knows.
This looks hokey. I don't exactly know what to make of this place. What is this?
I think there's like some optical illusion-y things. The review said the gift shop is killer.
That's kind of cool. This is made out of a redwood. I gotta say, these wood carvings are pretty cool. Like that is a mountain lion carved on the side of a tree, or carved and then hung on the side of a tree. Hello! Welcome to my crib. $5 seat. Take a look and see. There's a mirror.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that.
Ah, this is weird. Does it look weird? Whoa. Oh my god.
This is the camera level. This is how slanted this is.
So the name is Confusion Hill, right?
I'm confused. How do I...
I think Sarah took that a little too literal.
Can't really tell on camera. Yeah, ain't no way. I'm so close. Hold on. It feels like I'm getting close. Okay, show off. Are you leaning against the wall? That looks crazy. I don't know which way I'm gonna fall if I fall. This way? Oh, that one, okay. Oh, rock.
Ending up at Trinidad had its own perks. The waters here are much calmer than the beach we visited in Del Norte State Park. Here, we could at least dip our toes in without being afraid of being swept away by a rogue wave. Trinidad Beach was just a short pit stop. The real goal is making it to the town of Ferndale, which is a little tight to get to with the RV. But we made it, and Ferndale is interesting. As cliche as it sounds, it really looks like it's stuck in time. Kinda gives me a weird feeling, but Tony is totally into it.
I think it's interesting. Like, you see all these old buildings and you think it might be like a little, I don't know, touristy, but it's not. It's just the town. It's just their own spin on life.
A lot of these stores, well, they look like regular stores, until you realize quite a few of them have antiques on display and little mini museums up top. And okay, maybe it's a little creepy.
We don't come to small towns like this.
Nah, we're being a bit dramatic. This is all just totally unexpected. They had cool stickers though. Doesn't this kind of look like the RV?
This is like the most detoury detour we've ever taken. This is like a detour. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. In a fun way.
We had some awesome people comment on this video and found that this little town has been featured in a number of movies. One of the most notable ones is Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman, and the other one is The Majestic with Jim Carrey. I mean, why build a Hollywood set when you have a town that already looks like one?
You wanna go up there?
Yeah!
Knew you would.
The Ferndale Cemetery. Admittedly, if you overlook the graves, the view's kind of nice.
It goes on for a really long time. This is crazy.
Sarah loved the cemetery, but I kept imagining the Night of the Living Dead. Being in a small town with the sound of these crows, the movie's kind of writing itself here.
That's what you get for dating a white girl.
We had to travel over the mountain and through the woods to get to the...
What am I supposed to do with that? I'm not supposed to sing it.
No.
Okay.
We had to travel over the mountains and through the woods to get to the other side and back to the coast, which was a little sketchy. But we did catch a glimpse of a black bear before it scurried off the road. And once we made it through the mountain, it was back to those beautiful ocean cliffside views, which we know we had to make the most of. Wowee, look at that! You know, driving the California coast is a weird experience. Not because it's dramatic, everyone already knows that part. It's everything around the drama that sneaks up on you. One minute you're cruising past a view so good it makes you forget how to blink, and the next minute you're stuck behind a line of cars because Caltrans is doing construction on a cliff that looks like it could crumble. But halfway between the construction are all these little pull-offs that offer amazing views of the coast.
Enjoying the view?
Quite. We're on a bit of a rush against time because we're trying to make it to Glass Beach and Fort Bragg before the sun sets, which is in less than an hour. And we are about 25 minutes away, 24, but someone keeps stopping to take photos. And there's also quite a bit of construction on this road, so we'll see if we make it in time.
It's a beautiful view.
It's a bit.
We're right on the coast.
It's a beautiful view.
It's a beautiful
view.
Beautiful.
Not a bad place to get stopped for some traffic.
Still, somehow we made it to Fort Bragg right on time for the start of one of the most beautiful sunsets we've ever seen. But before that, we still have some time to explore Glass Beach and find out how it got its name.
Finding the good stuff.
Yeah, look at these kitties.
You're gonna make a great old lady one day.
I don't like birds though.
As the name would suggest, this beach is full of glass. Not the slice your foot open kind of glass, but the kind that's been tossed around by the ocean for decades and been smoothed over and shaped. And it's everywhere.
Admittedly, we both thought this was one of those places where people make it look pretty for social media, but these are the images right out of our camera, so you be the judge. I think it quite met our expectations. Oh, also, you're not allowed to take the glass home, but stacking it into sculptures on the rocks is totally fair game. So Glass Beach is part nature being beautiful and also part humans being destructive as we are. But this used to be Fort Bragg's dump site, I think from like 1907. Could be wrong about that, let me fact check that. But basically all this used to be a dump site, and over the years of erosion and decomposition and just smoothing out all the glass and bottles and debris that was here, it ended up being something beautiful.
Now, about that sunset.
Showing out. I can't stop taking pictures.
How did you rate it?
10 out of 10. Of course. The reflective pool is really
reflective pool
a
is,
photographer's dream.
Yeah.
Didn't know if it was going to be worth it, TBH.
It was worth it.
I was almost like, let's just skip it.
Yeah, I was too. You almost skipped it.
We're staying at another Harvest Host for a few days. I talked about Harvest Host before, so I won't go into the whole spiel again, but we got to tasting wine at a place called Hallcrest. We literally escaped to California to get away from the wet and cold, and California said, think again. On top of that, we had a massive amount of water pour in from a leak in our roof. Some people would say, cry me a river, there are worse problems out there, and they'd be right, but we're also human. Sometimes a bunch of little things stack up and you just hit a wall. Anyway, the crew at Hallcrest Winery couldn't have been friendlier.
Locally grown organic grapes. And it's fermented in a big tank. We crushed and pressed this about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And it's about 90% Newtown Pippin apples. Newtown Pippin is a really popular. Hold on, did I bring another cup on here?
You got that?
Oh, there it is.
So recharge number 1 was all about drinking wine. For tomorrow's recharge, we need a beach.
This popped open and we lost our stinky slinky.
Anyway, surfers and beaches. Things are starting to look up.
What are those?
Pelican?
Oh, are they?
I'm not totally sure about all the birds there, but I think I spot a few brown pelicans and some cormorants? I forget how to pronounce that.
So we've only been in California for about a week and a half, but it's felt like at least 4 weeks. And I think the primary reason for that is because it has been raining incessantly pretty much the whole time we've been here. So this is the first sunny day we've had, which is nice because we're in beautiful Santa Cruz. We're checking out some beaches, and this one that we're heading to now is called Panther Beach, and it's really cool. It has like cliff faces and looks a bit more rugged.
And it feels like more of an adventure to get to.
So there are signs about that say, just check the tides before you come down here, because if you don't, you'll probably get caught in the high tide and be stuck. Just make sure you check the tides. Panther Beach is raw, simple, just cliffs, sand, and the low roar of the Pacific. We walked around for a while and watched the waves smack against the rocks. Just good vibes, a salty breeze, and a good energy boost.
Like Santa Cruz, Monterey is just south of San Francisco and less than an hour from San Jose. It's just on the other side of the bay from Santa Cruz, so as we continue our chill, no plan, just kind of spend a day in a place, we took the RV to Monterey for a day.
Truth is, we probably didn't experience the stretch of the coast the way that we wanted to. The rain followed us, the RV had a few leaks, and some days felt more like damage control than discovery. So places like Monterey and Carmel by the Sea became pass-through towns. Not because they aren't beautiful, but because warmer weather meant more time to make repairs. And honestly, these roads weren't exactly built with old RVs in mind. Especially Carmel by the Sea. Driving through here, forget it. Monterey, however, is a nice spot to watch seals and sea lions.
Paso Robles was like a quiet escape moment, just somewhere we could park peacefully for the night and get some work done. But it's always the places you expect the least that end up being the most rewarding. Ooh, it's foggy. A little cold too. What? Oh, I was like, what is in my coffee? It looks red, but that's from this thing. So, ooh, that's a little rainy, so now my butt's wet. Last night, we stayed at this harvest house in the San Antonio Valley called California Street Winery. The people that own it, Tina and EJ, are so cool. Like, we're big fans. And I know absolutely nothing about wine, like zero. But their story is really incredible too. So they started as home brewers, which I only thought about home brewers as like beer. I didn't think about winemakers being home brewers too. They bought a half ton of grapes without really knowing what to do exactly. Just kind of looking at books and stuff, and they got their whole neighborhood together to squish these grapes, and they made their first barrel, and it was so good it won awards. Like, that's crazy. I think EJ is in there this morning kind of bottling some wine or maybe experimenting or something, so I'm gonna go in there and see if I can talk to him a little bit more, and be pretty cool to learn more about the process.
This is where we ferment our white wine, is in the stainless steel ones, but this is going to be a blending tank for transferring a bunch of wine.
This creates a airlock seal around the top part.
Oh.
So there's a hole in the middle, and you can then put the wine in the middle where this valve is there.
We started in 2009 in Huntington Beach, California. 4 people just dumb enough to try to make wine. We ended up coming up to Paso Robles and picking up a half a ton of grapes of Zinfandel from a vineyard that's now very famous. David Bailey is the name of the vineyard. Made some really nice wine, got lucky kind of, and that kind of made us feel like we could actually do this. And we were home winemakers until 2018. And then we built this winery in 2019, so we make about 10 barrels of wine a year, so 300 cases-ish, which is enough work for me.
Yeah.
I'm obviously getting old.
There's something about being around people who deeply care about what they do. It's contagious. We knew almost nothing about wine, nor the process behind it, but watching the passion that goes into making it sparked something in us.
Because of the cold, so you can see the liquid goes up into that inner tube, all the way up to the top of that inner tube right there. And so this device was basically created by Leonardo da Vinci.
Not a desire to become winemakers per se, just a reminder of why we love traveling in the first place. That feeling of being re-energized and ready for what's next.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put them in. I did an experiment. They have a little hole, so it'll fit a screw in there, and so I'm just gonna mount them.
You see it now, don't you?
Tony just said I look like John Lennon.
Straight from the 70s, you look.
Tony, do you know what trail angels are?
No, I have no clue.
So there's this thing, not that I have ever been a thru hiker, but there's this concept when you thru hike of like, there's trail magic where like people will leave water refills or snacks like on the PCT or the Appalachian Trail, and the people who do those things are called trail angels. I have been thinking of an equivalent for this road trip because I feel like along the way we've had road angels, and EJ and Tina come to mind immediately because we're still sitting
in their front yard. But I'm also thinking of like Lee, our patron, who we met up with in Crescent City. She gave us, oh my God, so many snacks and presents and bought us dinner. She got auto treats. I think of John and Wesley from Hallcrest Wineries. It's just these people along the way. And then there's just these little road angels that pop up at various times. That was my rant. Brought to you by John Lennon. What does that make you?
I guess Yoko Ono.
What does that make Otto? What is like a George Harrison?
Random moment, we were driving up to Bakersfield. I know, not the coast, but it was nighttime and we needed to stop and get gas. And we stopped at the weirdest gas station. Like, what the hell is this place? Imagine stopping here in the middle of the night.
So much of travel and van life especially gets glamorized. But the behind the scenes stuff is just normal life most of the time, just on wheels. Sometimes it's a little lonely. For instance, this is how we spend our downtime. And this is how we spent Thanksgiving.
You know, it's been several years since Tony and I have had a traditional Thanksgiving. Usually we are out of the country. When we're in the country, we're traveling somewhere. One year when we were in North Carolina, nothing was open, / we couldn't afford the restaurants that were open. So we got like refrigerated Bob Evans meals from Walmart that we reheated in our hotel lobby microwave. Let's just say we have leveled up a little bit. It's like fine dining in the trailer park over here. So yesterday we were thinking of like what would be open. And we were like, oh, the Golden Corrals were real close to us. And then I saw on the map what else is real close to us, which was Texas Roadhouse. So yesterday we got takeout to feed a small family. And this is what we're working with. Not on the menu. We've got pulled pork, mashed potatoes and gravy, Hello Rolls, bread for the pulled pork sandwiches, Caesar salad. And the one nice thing that is on the menu is our Pinot Noir from California Street Winery, which we have been saving just for this occasion.
Look at this feast that Sarah prepared.
Worked all day long. Actually, you know, I am a little bit proud of myself because we don't have a microwave in here, and all of this came in like plastic takeaway boxes. So I had to get a little creative about how I reheated everything, and I think it worked.
You know, moments like these really reiterate how much you have to like your travel buddy to spend Thanksgiving in a 24-foot RV eating yesterday's takeout. Eventually, we made our way to SLO, and we wouldn't realize it until we got there how much we needed a place like this.
San Luis Obispo on the map doesn't look terribly difficult to get to until you get to Cuesta Pass. I'm sure the view up here is stunning if we could see it, but right now we can't see much of anything. We're so high up that we have to drive straight through the fog. But a few hours later, we got to see some of those gorgeous rolling hills before we made it to SLO.
It's like our RV, just a lot newer.
There was something a little unexpected in SLO. You got your typical main street with local shops, and then there was Bubblegum Alley, seemingly out of place, but a little fun and a little gross to explore.
This feels like an unusual rite of passage, one I've done in Seattle several times. As stated by the San Luis Obispo website, if you're squeamish, germophobic, consider yourselves fairly warned.
So there should be a placard buried somewhere underneath this gum, but I think I read that this is supposed to be the original gum wall, which predates Seattle's.
You better watch where you're backing up. I don't think they clean their gum wall.
I doubt it.
Seattle cleans the gum wall off. Some of this looks old as That looks like a hairy They got the head curved in and everything.
There it is. You can read that.
You know, there was a song back in the 50s, 60s that says, does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? Turns out it does not lose its flavor. So, my hypothesis is that pluck one of these things off there, put it in your mouth and chew, that flavor will still be there because they chewed it and then stuck it
on
there.
so it's got its flavor.
That makes sense.
Huh? So that is yet to be proven.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the one to prove it.
Test your theory.
All right, see ya.
Appreciate you.
We won't be the ones to prove that theory, but we will add our mark to this piece of living art.
As these kids have so elegantly said in the background, there are a few unique gum creations here on the wall. And also an overwhelming amount of 6/7s.
I mean, you think you'll find?
Probably 6/7.
Clearly, the youths have found this wall.
Too old for this shit.
We figured the best way to end the day would be near some water. So we hopped on the highway and headed to Murrell Bay just outside of town. I'm actually really glad we decided to drive out here. It was either here or Pismo Beach, which actually looks really cool too. I don't know, I guess the only wrong decision was not finding time to see both.
Gotta wear my glasses like this because they're broken. The day was so nice, we figured we're only like 20 minutes away from Morro Bay. Why not go check it out? So we did. Drove up Highway 1 and we got and parked somewhere that's close by, and bam, there's this huge rock just sitting right here, and it looks so cool. This is what I imagine coastal towns in Italy and cool places like that. I mean, obviously this is a cool place too.
But the reason I chose Murrell Bay is because of the otters. No matter what time of year, you'll probably see them out here, and we were lucky enough to see several late in the afternoon.
She's waving at me. Look how flat them bellies are.
These otters, man, just floating around without a care in the world, living their absolute best lives. I wouldn't say otters are becoming my spirit animal, but I do respect the lifestyle. So of course I looked up a few fun facts while we were just standing here staring at them like weirdos. First off, a group of otters is called a raft, which actually kind of makes sense seeing how they float. Then they got this little pocket under their arms where they keep snacks or a rock for smashing food open on their bellies. That one I actually knew. And they sleep for 10 to 12 hours a day, usually floating in kelp so they don't drift away and stay safe from predators. Meanwhile, they couldn't care less about the small crowd of humans losing their minds over how cute they are. Us included. Okay, I'll shut up now. I'm interrupting the cuteness.
Is it custody battle?
Fighting over milk.
Quite, can't think of the adjective. Quite nice.
That's the adjective you couldn't think of.
No, can't think of it.
Quaint.
It was kind of like quintessential. I don't know. It's nice.
Peaceful.
Peaceful. And not in the sense that we looked at it from a lens of making an entertaining video or anything superficial like that.
From Slow, we headed inland. Again, not exactly the coast. Actually, quite the opposite, considering this is the desert.
Morning. Good, how are you? Thank you.
Funny that the park ranger recognized us. Probably not that hard to remember seeing this big old rig. But we actually drove into the park last night to do some stargazing, and now is our first time back with some daylight.
Ready to do some scrambling, some bouldering. I don't know what the proper word is. Scrambling, I guess. These are nice. Great burrito. So our first stop in Joshua Tree this morning is the Hidden Valley Nature Trail. Kind of cool, man, like this. Never seen anything like these rock formations. It is absolutely amazing. We're here pretty early. I think it's like 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock almost, and pretty easy parking. We found RV parking. There's spots over there and there's some cars in there, and just walking up the path this morning.
This is one of the more popular spots for people to climb on the rocks before you venture deeper into the national park.
Hey, Editor Tony, how was Joshua Tree National Park formed? Where do all these boulders come from?
Well, according to family history,
Editor Toner. You gotta do that in post.
According to NPS, the National Park Services, Joshua Tree sits right on the edge of the North American plate. Millions of years ago, tectonic collisions pushed molten granite underground, where it cooled, cracked, and slowly eroded. As the soil disappeared, those rounded granite blocks started to stack up, creating the surreal rock formations we see today.
When in Stranger Things, when Vecna cracks
oh, when he like trances them and yeah.
cracks their arms and legs.
Hidden Valley Nature Trail is about a mile long. It's an easy loop. It's supposed to take about an hour to complete, but we didn't want to do the whole thing and didn't want to push our luck finding RV parking for the next few spots that are said to be even more impressive.
So we drove about 5-7 minutes down the road to find Legion of... I keep wanting to say Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom.
Hall of Horrors. We went to find Hall of Horrors. It's supposed to be a little hidden slot canyon. Hopefully we can find it. I don't know if it would be difficult to get to or not, but there's some walking paths, so should be easy enough to at least explore the rocks around here.
I said the slot canyon would be an easy find. Then we walked into the rock formations and realized there were a lot of entrances. All of them looked right. We chose wrong. We backtracked, tried another opening, then another, and eventually realized none of them were the one. But in that process, we explored a lot more of these rocks than we had planned, and that part was kind of great. We even stumbled into what I think was the Chasm of Doom by accident, which also feels like a win. Also, I now understand why I keep saying Legion of Doom.
Tight squeeze. Sarah, I think I found it. Or a variation of it.
You trying to 127 hours me?
I can fit, you can fit.
Whoa. Whoa. That's where they found it?
What, 127? Maybe. Slightly sketchy. Only slightly. If I could fit through here, yeah. Almost anybody can fit through here. I'm 230 pounds.
We didn't find the Hall of Horrors, and I'm not even sure this is the Chasm of Doom. But what I do know is, regardless of what you're looking for, if you're looking to explore a slot canyon, this is your spot. It's also a good place to hang out too.
She photographs beautifully. Which bad ankle do I trust the most? Well,
Nice.
Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and
What a view. What you think about Joshua Tree?
you know what? I love a flat hike.
Yeah, me
And
too.
that is all we've been doing. So 10 out of 10. You know what else I love? Free things. And this was free with Tony's Veterans Park Pass.
America the Beautiful.
Thank you for your service.
So we get to the garden, we see all these cool looking cacti, and the first thing Sarah wants to know is if she can touch it. Honestly, I was a little curious too. But the universe answered almost immediately. The temptation is strong in this one. You thought we were about to walk in the frame, didn't you? Psych! Okay, now we're walking through the frame of the shot that we clearly set up pretending the camera was not there. Also, I wanted to fake this drone shot, but you can clearly see my shadow holding up the camera, but anything for the shot. Fuzzy looking, cute, and deceptively painful, i.e., try not to touch it.
Yesterday it was about seeing the national park. This morning we drove about 20 minutes from Joshua Tree to a spot just outside of Landers.
So, we're in Joshua Tree. We're in Joshua Tree, and we're looking for a place to film an ad because we want to do a little bit of bouldering. And I found this place on the maps. I had no idea where it is. I just saw satellites and a ton of rocks. So we finally pull up to it, and look how crazy this place is. It's tagged as hell though, which is kind of cool though. Gives it a little personality. This is insane.
This was a pretty neat find for a random pull-off on the side of the road. We would have never known this was here if not for a slightly suspicious satellite image on Google Maps. So, remember when I said we were thankful for that gym membership? We could get more use out of it.
I need space to get up. Oh gosh. Hold this. Oh. Okay.
Young and spry.
Oh, look at this. This is cool.
Despite some early struggles, I did make it halfway up these rocks. Going any further felt like a little too much work, so I whipped out the drone to get an aerial view.
Some people might call the town of Joshua Tree a little touristy, especially by the park entrance. I find it more, what's the word? Eclectic. Lots of local artists and shop owners with their own collection of random desert knickknacks. Okay, so when I mentioned Joshua Tree being eclectic, that's most evident in this little art corner up the block from the visitor center. Inside is a shop called Art Queen, owned by Sherry Elf, who is also the proud owner of the world-famous Crochet Museum. This is Sherry.
Oh, you're gonna be that close, really? Glamour lighting, please.
You are pretty far away. It's just a very big
okay, thank you.
You own this store, the museum, and then what was the other?
There's a little trailer over there filled with crochet blankets that I find in thrift stores, mostly in Arizona. So,
How did this whole idea come about?
well, I've always been an artist. So I've always been making art, and it sort of evolved. It wasn't really anything I set out to do, because my ex bought this property, and we decided to turn these into galleries. This was 20 years ago or so, and this was our storeroom. And then when we broke up 3 years later, he didn't kick me out, which was really nice. So this evolved into my store. My museum had been there for years because I had a huge collection of crochet that started with some bottle poodles. But when I moved to Kansas City, there was just great crochet everywhere, so I had to expand beyond poodles. So that just, I came back from Kansas City with boxes of crochet beings, animals and stuff, and I didn't know really why I had all these crochet things. But then I met Randy, and he had this property, and I found this little building on the side of the road in Yucca Valley, and the lady sold it to us.
Nice.
So it all kind of came together.
Do you know roughly how many pieces of crochet are inside the museum itself?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's
I
like
would get maybe, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000.
This is interesting. There's a lot of these. Holy crap. Well, you fit.
Yeah, I was afraid my birthing hips. Your shoulders are gonna... Oh, you got it. Nice.
Alright, how do I get out?
Same way you got in. Such a great place to putz.
You love putts?
I love to putz. Lots of quirky things. It's like, doesn't feel carbon copy touristy, which is nice. Like, I feel like when you go to so many touristy towns, it's like the same souvenirs, the same like t-shirts. This is like very artsy and unique. And we got to meet Sherry, who is the owner of like 4 different places in here. She sells a lot of really cool things. Picked up a gua sha because Tony broke mine in the shower. And I
wasn't using it, I just dropped it.
You can use it.
Leaving Joshua Tree, we figured we'd stop into Palm Springs for the day, and I'm telling you right now, I had this place completely wrong.
We are at the Palm Springs Tramway. This is something I did not know even existed until like we started looking into this area. It's a wee bit expensive, definitely more than we like to spend on things. I think it's $45 a person to get up there, and then it was $15 to park. It looks like it's gonna be beautiful. It did say that tickets were sold out. I think that's pretty common, especially around a holiday like we are now, but we're hoping we can walk in and get tickets and hopefully not wait all day long.
2 adults.
Yes, please.
So my next available tram is going to be the 924 tram car. We'll start boarding here in 1 hour. So tickets were actually $34, and it's not as bad as a wait as I thought it'd be. I thought we had to wait till like 11 o'clock, getting here at 8. We only have to wait till 9:30. So we got here about 8 o'clock. We got into the line and got to the ticket stand about 8:30, 8:24. And we got our tickets for 9:24, so not too bad a wait time. So by now you know I don't like heights. I don't need you to feel sorry for me or anything like that. Eventually I'll stop talking about it since it's one of those things that I keep dragging us to do. I honestly didn't feel nervous about this one. However, when they started packing us all in here like sardines, my mind started questioning the weight limits. And our tram operator had a surprise for us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Liam. I'm going to be your tramway operator for the day. A couple things about our trip. We are going to be going over 5 towers. They all have some swing to them. Number 3 has the most. It is my personal favorite. I'm also going to have that floor rotating for you. Please note, if you are hanging on to the handlebars that are attached to the windows, they do not rotate. You're going to have to slide your hands as you go along. If you have any questions, please let me know. Most importantly, folks, have fun. Good luck.
We're sliding. We're rotating.
Okay, so these are the towers he's talking about. This is the first one. Keep that in mind.
Here we go. Swing number 1.
And this is the second.
I hate it.
Oh, and the rotating floor he was talking about too. When I did get a chance to open my eyes, the view was incredible. And in the distance, past the passing tram car, is the dreaded third tower. Here we go.
And Tower 3.
I'm not exaggerating this, I swear. It's just, my legs are shaking. We gotta come back down. I feel like that might be worse.
Ears are popping, her ears.
The Palm Springs area. Visit testimony of the solid granite core of the atoll, located at an elevation of 7,576 feet above sea level. The ride of our travel is San Antonio at 11,490 feet.
Wow. How do you feel?
Great.
Yeah. My feet hurt.
Why do your feet
And
hurt,
my knees are a
Tony?
little shaky. Because I had to ground myself, so I was literally toes in the metal. So I don't move. I didn't want to move at all.
How much was it?
35.
Definitely worth $35.
Yeah.
Oh, there's always a fear with these things that it's going to be like overpriced, but I feel like that's solid.
Yeah,
That's a solid cost.
Now we got to go back down.
We did hang out here for a little while and take in the view before heading back down. Going down is much more spacious, but my guy Liam got to chill.
All right, folks, welcome back. My name is Liam. I'm going to be your tramway operator for the way down. Good luck.
Going down in the tram was a completely different experience, mostly because there were way fewer people heading in that direction.
This feels like it's spinning faster. Is it not?
Probably because there's less people.
We felt the floor rotate a lot more, but there was also less of the side-to-side sway when we passed by the towers. We were actually talking about what would happen if the tram ever got stuck. It just so happened that there was a malfunction that shut the whole thing down later that same day we were there.
That wasn't so bad. I think that was my favorite tram experience anywhere in the world that we've been. Is that true for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably the better one we've done. View-wise, the view was spectacular. We had good weather today. Wasn't windy, so I can give that a plus because we've done other ones where it's been like super windy. Yeah, I'd say that was the best one.
I think that was like most bang for our buck too. Like I feel like they could easily charge 70 or 80 bucks and people would still flock to it. But that was like, I think it's really appropriately priced.
Also, there are a very select few RV spots for anyone crazy enough to drive an RV up the mountain like us. But if Jam Jam made it, any RV can.
So we just realized that Tony's shirt is inside out, and now we have realized it is also backwards. So he's wearing wearing a backwards and inside out t-shirt. And on these Kettle Mountain t-shirts, affiliate link in the description, they're actually a really great clothing brand. But when you pee and you lift your, I don't know, do you lift your shirt up when you pee? There's a little message, and on this one it says, let the willy free. But since his shirt is inside out and backwards, it's resting right on his butthole. What do you have to say for yourself?
I had a sweatshirt on earlier, and I thought it didn't matter. I just threw this on last night when I was going to bed, and I didn't change my shirt, so I put a sweatshirt over it this morning because it was cold, and I took it off now that it's hot, and I didn't realize it was inside out until we were in the museum. Now I realized it was inside out and backwards, so here we are.
We got up early to snag a parking spot at Indian Canyons. Since it's on indigenous land, there is a small fee that goes directly back to the community. It's $12 per adult, free for military, but honestly it feels like a pretty fair deal for getting to experience a place like this.
Is there going to be RV parking on some of the trails? Just the earlier ones?
Andreas Canyon has RV parking.
Andreas Canyon? Perfect. Okay, thank you. So, this morning we are at Indian Canyons. There are 3 trails you can do here. The one we picked is the Andres Canyon because it is a half-mile loop. It's supposed to be easy, and it's the second largest palm oasis in the area, and it has a very big parking lot for RVs. So we can park here and walk the trail, and it should be pretty easy. Plus Sarah's ankle's still kind of messed up, so hopefully it's not too challenging. All right, this is the view just from the parking lot, so this should be pretty nice.
Being here early, hearing nothing but birds and running water, and only a handful of people, it's hard to believe where we actually are. This is still the desert, but it's green. Like, surprisingly so green out here. It feels calm, and I'm not mad at starting the day like this. Was perfect for us because you're not hiking to something big out here, you're just moving through it. The trail's short, but everything's packed in tight. The palms and the mountainside, the stream, it's all right here. Another low effort, big payoff kind of trail.
Wow. New age Mount Rushmore.
Okay, so let me fix you. I have a question about these palm trees. So we were noticing in the city that they're obviously well manicured, they're clipped on the ends, but I was like, these things fall, and when they die, the leaves die, they just fall over and create like a protective barrier, almost like a skirt. And I was thinking, do they ever stop just growing? I don't know, I think they stop growing because they die, but do they like some of these are just from the plant itself all the way down to the ground. So like, does it ever stop, or does it just keep piling on and piling on and piling on and just creating a deeper and thicker skirt around the tree?
Okay, weekly knowledge dump. Turns out some palms are non-self-pruning, which means their dead leaves just stay there forever. Other palms politely drop them on their own, or they get trimmed because we as humans decided that should look nicer, and it can kind of be a hazard in the city.
After driving the entire California coast, like from the very top, we found ourselves back here, San Diego. Also, you might notice we have a car. Funny story, one of our Patreon subscribers, Katie, graciously let us borrow her spare car while we're in San Diego. Today, we're making our way over to a place called Extraordinary Desserts. Why? Because that's where Tony and I had our first date.
I'm gonna grant you all a little inside look into Sarah and I's lives. This is where we had our very first date. It is a lot fancier than I remember it being.
I think they rebranded. Like
Yeah.
this is way fancier than it used to be.
But funny story, I don't think I've ever told you guys. When Sarah and I first started talking, we were like, let's plan somewhere for us to go for a first date. And I was like, let's go here, but there's 2 different locations, so make sure you don't pick the wrong location. And I ended up going to the wrong location. So you ended up waiting for me for how long, do you remember?
You were very apologetic. You're like, I went to the wrong location. Facepalm emoji, I'm sure. I'm in an Uber now, and you had come to the right location. I was probably waiting like 10, 15 minutes. If you had to guess what color pants Tony was wearing on our first date, what would you guess? If you guessed pink, you would be correct. This man showed up in pink jeans.
Fashion.
Pink jeans.
Fashion. I don't regret those jeans. I wish I still had them. But I probably can't fit them now.
But I also,
they weren't skinny or anything, so.
No, they weren't skinny jeans, thank goodness. But I also feel like our whole relationship, including that first date, has been a throuple because the camera also came with us on our first date.
It did.
He said he wanted to take some photos. So this has been an 8-year-long throuple relationship. You, me, and the camera.
Which after this we're gonna go to too, so where we took photos. I wanted to say it was Spruce Street, but I don't think it was Spruce Street. I think it was the bridge that was right here. So we'll go to that and probably go to Spruce Street and see which one it was.
You know, it's funny too because obviously this was our first date, so we didn't know each other yet. I am notoriously not a dessert person, and we met at like 5 p.m. and I hadn't eaten dinner yet. So I was just running off of sugar and then alcohol when we got to the bar later, which I think goes to show like how much I wanted to see this date through because I didn't complain about my hunger levels. But it definitely looks a lot, I don't know, just like trendier. It's like a trendier spot. Fancy.
Despite the name, they do have food. For nostalgia purposes, I had to get a little something something, but for budget's sake, well, we dished out 15 bucks for a freaking grilled cheese. Oh, and I got a cookie. Look, I know I just made a big deal about 15 bucks, but it's a cookie and I have a sweet tooth. Don't judge me, okay? Let me live.
Drooled.
Ooh, excuse me.
Turns out it wasn't the Spruce Street Bridge we walked across back then. I definitely would have remembered this one. But it's still a cool bridge with a neat little piece of San Diego history.
1912 this has been here. Wow. Wow.
We are on Spruce Street Bridge. This is a pedestrian bridge that sways. So if you don't like that, maybe take a detour around it. I always have an appreciation for spots like this in a city where you can like just walk a few steps and it seems like quiet and you kind of forget you're in a city, and this is definitely one of them, except we are kind of close to the airport, so if you just ignore the airplanes, then it's quite a quiet little nature oasis.
A little shaky.
Don't like it?
Not the worst we've done, but it's very secure, but it is a little wobbly. It makes you a little nervous because there's nothing at the bottom except for a canyon. So it's not like you fall in the water, you fall on the ground and you're done for. So a little bit of that, but not the worst thing we've done. I think I'm pretty good to go across this like 2 or 3 more times. It's all very much reinforced. Like I ain't going nowhere. And I think there's walking paths down there too, so you can kind of walk around if you don't want to go on the bridge, maybe just under it.
Something I always forget about San Diego is how many like canyons there are to explore. This walk's kind of like right over one, and what you'll see in a future video is us like actually doing some restoration work in the canyons in San Diego. And after doing that, I feel like I have a newfound appreciation for just the nature that's here in the city.
Today, we're switching it up. We're doing something really touristy in San Diego, but you know what? So what? Sure, it's old, probably a little janky, maybe costs more than it should,
but we want to do it anyway. Today we're riding the Giant Dipper, and we rode it twice. Sorry in advance for the screaming. Check your volume.
Why not? Today of all days, why not just give it one shot?
Rode it once.
Yeah.
I don't really remember much about it. We just want to do the Dipper.
Just the roller coaster?
Yeah.
You guys are paying together, right?
Yeah.
It'll just be 16, okay?
For the record, if anyone is wondering, we did ask if we could film our ride. They said, at your own risk. Fitting.
Now, would I spend all day in line for that? Probably not. But when it's a Wednesday at 1:35, you can walk right up and it's $8 a person, ride the wooden roller coaster. Ride the wooden roller coaster. Ride the wooden roller coaster. Alright, we made it to La Jolla. This is the best place in San Diego to see seals and sea lions. You can see them from the shore area. You can probably smell them once you get close too. But we're also going to go to Jimmy's Sea Cave to maybe get a more up close look. And neither of us knew this existed before. Which neither of us knew existed and have never been there. So this should be exciting.
Big stretch.
Big stretch. Each time the waves come up, they have to like arch because they don't want to get wet and cold in the water.
There's 145 steps going down into the cave. You do come up the same way. Steps are going to be a little slippery, so just use the handrails on either side. When ceiling gets a little bit low, so watch your heads.
Okay.
In the unlikely event that you're on the deck with a seal or a sea lion, just come right back up.
Okay.
And that's it.
Whoa, look at this.
Love a cave.
This is cool. Low ceiling. Oh, bridge. There are 145 steps, which means you gotta go back up. So starting to feel a little burn. Stairs are well maintained, they're wood, and there's some water that runs because it's a cave, so you definitely have to hold on to the handrails. And there goes my breath.
And our journey brought us here, the cliffs of La Jolla. But this detour isn't over. We just started another chapter. There's a special love for California, and even though this road trip wasn't perfect, it was life-changing. And I don't mean life-changing in a cliche way. I mean, we discovered we could do things we didn't think possible. And that includes driving an old RV down the coast of California and learning how to do repairs on the fly. We've got one last stop in California before hitting the road again and leaving the state. Here's a sneak peek. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss where we're headed next.